Actually was the head strength coach at the University of Cincinnati back in 1990. So I don't recognize anything, but it brings me back a little bit. Actually, Heather Mason was one of my athletes. She was a volleyball player, and do not blame me for how Heather is right now, because sometimes they tell you that you're cultivated through your high school, college, athletic years, but don't put that one on me. I'm just kidding. It's pretty cool to be back. See a lot of familiar faces, a lot of ex-coaches, a lot of ex-interns. I was actually looking for a couple of these interns the other day. Brady, I figured, let's go clean the weight room, and they're down here with you. I didn't even know they left. I want to thank Dr. Ken. I know Coach Al Johnson's in the crowd. Coach Dr. Ted Lambertese is in the crowd. And a lot of these guys, a lot of these people that are in the crowd today, a lot of the influences that I have came from them, and I want to thank them. Today, and I know I got to roll because we have a big game down in Knoxville against USC Upstate. The pitcher's pretty good. She throws 63, good changeup, not bad. So we gotta do some hitting. The thing I want to do today and talk about is not so much. Coach Schlegel's here. There he is. A lot of people that, like I said, have influenced me, and I appreciate everything they've done. What I want to do today, rather than sit up here and talk about X's and O's and what we do, I kind of want to share with you guys, 30 years of coaching. I've been in this industry at this level for 30 years. I've been a head strength coach for 27. So I want to share some of the things that I have experienced, some of the things that I have gone through, and hopefully it can help you in your program. I see a lot of young faces out there. I hope you can take 1, 2, 3, 4 things from our little presentation here. The older strength coaches in the crowd, once again, you're here because you want to continue to learn and get better. And that's why we're all here. And I don't, kind of nowadays where my career is and my life is in the last 5 or 10 years, I really haven't gone out and spoken, that's the correct verbiage, at clinics. But this one's special, so let's go from here. I'd like to introduce my staff, but they're still on 71 because there was some traffic. But I try to hire the best fit for our program. Our staff: Phil Matus, Jeff Ulanay, Quinn Barham, and Nico Palizzetti. Good Irish guy. They do a great job. They fit right into our culture. Nico's the newest. He replaced Brady Collins, and he fit right in. And we have a pretty strong culture up there with our football program, with our university, our athletic department, our football program, and obviously our strength program. So those guys do an unbelievable job. They will be here. Coach, ex-Buckeye that played back in the late 80s. I actually had the opportunity to coach him as a graduate assistant. Dr. Ted, I believe, did as well. I know Chip Morton. Oh, and here they come. They just walked in the building. So they do a great job. You have any X and O questions, they'll be here. They can give you a little bit more specifics of what we do. I've had this slide for 25 years. It's always my first slide of the presentations that I give. And it's this: get what you emphasize, you get what you tolerate. I'm not going to stand up here today and tell you what's a better way, what type of philosophy, methodology that you should use. Whether you're a strength coach, a high school strength coach, whatever it may be, whether you're a football coach, whether you're a basketball coach, whatever you're doing. But these are 2 things that I live by. Whatever you want in your program, whatever you want the culture of your program to be, you got to emphasize that on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, on a minute-by-minute basis, a second-by-second basis. And whatever you don't want in your program, you have to do the same. So if you tolerate someone standing on a line when you're running conditioning runs, you tolerate that, that's what you're going to get. These athletes now, in the world that we live in, they're gonna push your buttons, and they're gonna push it until someone tells them differently. They didn't grow up like I grew up. They didn't grow up like Coach Fickle or Dr. Ted grew up, or Coach Johnson, or Dr. Ken, or some of the older people in the crowd. They didn't grow up like that. It was different times. So I live by this more today than ever. And like I said, I want to give you some thoughts on coaching. Thoughts not so much of what to do, but more how to do it. And kind of how we do it, more importantly, how I do it. We're going to talk about 4 things. We're going to talk about coaching. We're going to talk about conflict. We're going to talk about conviction. And we're going to talk about culture. And what those words mean. And what they mean to me. And what they mean to us. Definition of a coach. As the slide says, helping individuals improve their performance and achieve goals by providing training, advice, and guidance. It doesn't say that you're going to help them specifically with the bench press exercise, or the vertical jump exercise, or the reach block, or whatever it may be. That's a very vague definition of coach, but that's what you are. That's what you are. That's what I am. That's what we all are. We're coaches. And people depend on coaches. Because you can't improve, you can't get better without that coach. And I'm going to talk a little bit more as we go. We have a unique program up at Ohio State. We teach leadership. We teach leadership to our coaches. We teach leadership to our staff. We teach leadership our players, our athletic trainers, our nutritionists, our interns. Everybody learns about leadership. Everyone. Everyone in the building. So the culture within the walls of our building is all the same. There's no independent contracting going on. And, you know, Coach Fickle knows because he was there. My staff got that were there. They know. We hired a leadership consultant to help us through that process. And I'm going to talk, I got a couple good nuggets for you guys as we go through. Here's what a coach does. A coach motivates, he cultivates, he educates, and he inspires. So as you're sitting right there listening to me with this presentation, ask yourself, do you do those 4 things? Do you do those 4 things? Because if you don't do those 4 things, then you're not a coach. You're not a coach. A coach has to motivate. You have to motivate. Especially our generation IYs or our millennials. I guess the next generation, Coach Schlegel's called the centennials. That's what I heard. I don't know. Cultivation of who you want to be and who we want them to be. Obviously, education, 24/7, 365 days a year. All the time. All the time. And inspires. As Dr. Ken alluded to, I come from a tough steel mill town. Not much steel in there anymore. North of the Ohio River, actually it was Ambridge. Aliquippa was our rival. It's very similar. It's a tough neighborhood. It's a tough town. I was inspired by my coaches, by my high school coaches back in the day. Hopefully you can touch somebody as you go through whatever you're doing. Because people rely on us. They rely on you. You have to inspire them. Now, as a strength coach, a lot of strength coaches out there, I just was sitting at my desk trying to figure out what the hell my job description actually is. Not what it says, what it actually is. So I came up with these. I'm a programmer, right? You got to program schedules, you got to program training, you got to program day, you got to program everything. Facilitator. Some people call me the MFer. The master facilitator. Because the strength coach usually has the pulse of everything. Of everything. So you always got to facilitate treatment. Extra work on the field. Study table. Because it all affects you being around those players. Disciplinarian. There's a lot of football sport coaches out there that immediately say, you're the strength coach, you're the disciplinarian. I get it. That's part of the deal. So that's part of your job title. Psychologist, obviously uncertified psychologist. Not only do you have to help those athletes through that rough time, sometimes you got to help, in my case, football coaches through a rough time. Or young GA or young interns. because they're looking for help. They're looking for guidance. You have to do those things. Maintenance engineer, right? Brady Collins and the Cincinnati Bearcat staff. I know Heather was involved, and Tom and everybody. You guys were maintenance engineers here. Put the weight room together. You got to be an engineer. You got to know what you're doing. You got to take care of equipment. You got to take care of things. More importantly, you got to be a solution engineer. Because sometimes, especially at the level that I'm at, people don't want to hear what your problems are. They don't want to hear. They want to hear what the solution is, not your problems. Our director of football operations got a cool sign outside when you walk out his office. It says, solutions. That's it, because that's all that matters. So wherever you're at, everybody's in a different situation, high school, college, big college, small college, maybe basketball, strength coaching, whatever it is. Nobody really cares about what your problems are. All they care about is the solutions. So you better be an engineer of the solution. Creativity director. I know Brady, when he was with me, that was one of his job titles. I know Nico and Coach Matus, that's theirs. You got to be creative. We have this thing, creativity plus energy equals production at Ohio State in our football office, in our football program. Creativity plus energy equals production. So nowadays, once again, with social media, you better be creative. You better be creative. Maybe not too creative, but you got to be creative. And you better have energy. Because there's young athletes, like I said before, that are counting on you. There's people around you that are counting on you. Because I think the strength and conditioning coach can make the biggest impact in your program, in your high school. Because you're always around the players. And then one that I'm pretty good at, it's called non-invasive dentistry, because it's always trying to pull teeth sometimes, right? Pull teeth to get people to do things. Because deep down, 90% of them don't really want to do what you're asking them to do that day, right? They're going to, the pleasers are going to say, yes, coach, yep, let's go. But deep down, they're like, man, I want to lay in the bed, I want to get on my phone, I want to get on my pad, whatever, and go from there. Another one of my favorite signs, and I believe the head coach at Cincinnati now uses this at a clinic because I've seen it. There's a saying out there, right? We've all heard it. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. I disagree wholeheartedly. If you grab the back of that horse's neck and shove his face in the water, he'll get some water. So sometimes I call it forceful adaptation. You have to force, obviously not physically force them, but you have to force sometimes people to do things that they don't want to do. I call that forceful adaptation. Feel free to use that wherever you may be going. Inspiration when a coach provides that athlete, people around them. And Coach Meyer talks about this all the time, and we put a big emphasis on it. The player-coach relationship. The player-coach relationship. Not player-to-friend relationship. We don't need friends. I don't need friends. I'm good. I'm not there to be their friend. We're there to be their coach. And there's a difference. Sometimes, especially in that high school, 7-on-7, travel basketball, AAU, whatever that is, sometimes it's not like that. They're there to be their friend. Well, that's my mentor. Oh, yeah, it is, isn't it? Telling you to do all the wrong things. That not working hard is okay, right? So, player-coach relationship is one of the finest ever. And it could be one of the finest things you ever... Obviously, the relationship I have with Heather, she was a player, I was a coach. And our friendship over the last almost 30 years. There's a lot of other guys in here. But the one thing that I'm going to talk about is that player has to know that you care, that you give a shit. I call that the GSF, the give a shit factor. That player, or whoever you're working with, has to know that you care about them. Not just that you're the offensive guard and you got to do this, that you honestly, wholeheartedly give a shit about them. They have to know that. Once they know that, they'll run through a wall, man. I'm telling you, they'll do it. I know 25 years ago, the athlete back then was going to do it without even thinking. Now they might, well, let me tweet this thing out and see what kind of response I get, and then I'll do it, coach. That's kind of how we're at. Got this from our leadership program. It's called Building Trust. So the player has to know that you care, that you trust. He trusts you, you trust him. That's the player-coach relationship. I want to talk about three aspects of building trust. There's three things that have to happen for that player to trust you. Competence, character, and connection. And I'll go through each one. Competence, do you know what you're doing? Does that athlete know that you know, that believes that you know what you're doing? Competence, do you know what you're doing? Are you certified? Those type of things. Character, how you live, how you act, what you do when no one's watching. Who are you? And the last one, connection, the relationship you have between that player. I'm going to talk about competence first. Players will trust your competence on how they experience these three things. So now that player, he believes in you, three things happened before he believed in you. Number one, what you coach. What you coach. Like whatever your skill set is as a coach, what you're coaching. You know what you're talking about. Right? Number two, how you coach. Are you demeaning, in his face, and derogatory, and whatever else? Are you almost too happy and smiling and almost like his friend all the time? Or you kind of middle of the road, get in their grill when they need to be in the grill, and then push them and motivate them, do those things. Get to know how you coach. And the last one is why you coach. Like the players that I've coached, they know why I coach. I try to be as real as I can. I'm not trying to be any other person that I'm not. I'm not trying to be some coach from 20 years ago. I'm not trying to be anybody in this. I'm trying to be me. So for you young coaches, when you go on, be you. Be who you are. That's it. That's all they want. That's all we want. Just be who you are. Don't try to be somebody you're not. Don't try to be their friend. Just be you. Just be you. I'm going to break all these down. Competence. Knowing your shit. I'm on video, but knowing your stuff. You got to know your stuff. I appreciate everybody in this room right now trying to continue to learn. Somebody says, what's the biggest thing that you can give a young coach right now, other than what I'm going to give them today, is continue to learn. I learn something new every day. I learn something new from my staff. Sometimes they don't even know it. I learn something new from our players. Sometimes they don't even know it. I learn something new from everybody in our building, our play, everybody. So continue to learn, because you don't have all the answers. Look back 30 years ago, what the culture in our business was, what we did, how we did it. It's a little bit different now. You got to stay up with the Joneses, but you got to believe in what you believe, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. 4 things about knowing your stuff, being fully prepared. Coach Meyer talks about this almost every meeting when he talks to our assistant coaches. You go in that meeting room and you go meet with the wide receivers. You got to pretend you're Tom Brady meeting with the quarterbacks, or you're Tom Brady's coach meeting with Tom Brady. You got to know your stuff. Because if you don't know, he knows more than you. He's going to let you know, and then you're done. So you got to be fully prepared. Whether you're talking in front of a group, whether you're talking in front of the team, you got to be fully prepared. You got to put a little time and effort into it. So, ready for that task. Skillfully trained. Everybody in there that works with athletes should be certified. Should be certified. Dependable. Be up on time. All the things that comes with dependability, so people can count on you. So if that athlete knows that you're going to be in that facility at 5:30 a.m. every morning, or 5 a.m. or 4:30 a.m. every morning, he knows he can depend on you. Just like you depend on them when they show up on time. Make sure you guys hydrate. It's about 150 in here a day. When you go to the bathroom, you can test your pee there. They got testers, so test your hydration. And then number 4, knowing your stuff, is being detailed. Exactly what you want them to do, exactly the way you want it done. Number 2 is how you coach. how you coach. This is how I coach. This is how I coach. I coach with passion and purpose. I have a purpose. I figured it out probably 10 years into my career. My purpose in life, or my purpose, my professional life, is to teach young athletes the appreciation of hard work, sweat, how to work for things. That's my purpose. Your purpose may be completely different. Energy. You gotta have energy, man. Energy breeds excitement. Excitement breeds effort. That's what happens. You gotta have energy. You ever go hear a motivational speaker that really doesn't have a whole lot of energy? You're really not listening. You're really not listening. I'll tell you a quick little story. We were down at the CSCCA. I see Al back there. We had a board meeting or a strength meeting, and if you guys ever seen one of those, it was a piece of equipment, and the guy got up and started talking. I don't even remember he was talking about the piece of equipment, but the guy had so much energy. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to buy this thing because of this guy. I didn't even know what it was. That's what kind of energy we want as a coach. That's hopefully I bring that every day. Direct and concise. Whatever you're relating to that athlete, you got to have that. Intensity. I tend to be a little loud. You don't have to be loud. That's who I am. I'm loud. If you know me, you know at times I get really, really loud. With utmost importance. So when I go to work every day, I want those athletes to understand that this is the most important thing in my life at this moment right now. Is you doing that pro shuttle correctly. You bending down and doing an exercise exactly the way it's done. They're going to know it's important. This is what I believe. I believe in tough love. I believe the athlete needs to hear what he needs to hear, not what he wants to hear. Or what she needs to hear, not what she wants to hear. Everybody wants to hear what you want to hear. It's hard when someone tells me what I need to hear. But you appreciate people more when they tell you exactly what you need to hear rather than what you want to hear. And you got to do it with conviction. Hey, 100% you are convinced that you believe in this. So once you figure out your methods, your philosophy, and you know where you're going and you have your plan of attack, you do it with conviction. And those players will buy in. What is your why? Why do you coach? Why do I coach? Like I said, impact student athletes. I love training. I love development. Hopefully you guys do as well. I love preparation of the game of football. I love the game of football. I love the whole 365 days preparing for that game on August 31st or October 27th, whatever the day is. That's what I love. I love to do that. And then obviously, I think where my role has changed a little bit is the crave of the development of a team, because we have so much of an impact on that throughout our summer months. Your team, really, when the season's over, January 19th, the day after Martin Luther King's when our season starts. So I have a huge impact on that development of that team and where they go and how we travel through that path. Question for you is, who are you? I'm telling you who I am. Who are you? Could you jot down, put it down on paper who you are, who you want to be. What is your purpose? I told you my purpose. What's your purpose? For you young coaches, it's good to have a journal and write down. If you look in Coach Nico Palizzetti's journal, it'll tell you that I'm trained in the weight room lifting weights 4 consecutive days because I make him write it down in his journal. That's kind of a joke. Talk to you a little quick little story here. I heard this from Steve Adazio, who was the head coach at BC, when he spoke at the clinic, and it caught me. It just caught me about passion. It's a story of 3 stone cutters. 3 stone cutters. People walking down, they see people cutting stones. And a stranger asked them, "What are they doing?" And the first one answers rudely, "Can't you see I'm cutting a stone?" "Cutting a stone, that's what I'm doing." Cool. They asked the second one, "What are you doing?" "I'm working to support my family and live." Got a little bit of a purpose, right? And then the last one, he says with pride and passion and conviction, "I am building a cathedral. Each stone I cut goes into a house of worship that will last beyond my life." So 3 people doing the same thing, different outlook, right? A little different outlook. That's how you should be as a coach. Build cathedrals. It's hard to coach without passion because the athletes will see right through it. They'll see right through it. And you know what? It takes a lot of energy to coach with passion. So you Professionals out there, we tell them every day, you got to live while you preach. You out there, I'm talking to everybody in this building, you got to get your sleep. You got to eat right. Can't put bad things in your body. You got to go to bed on time, right? If someone's calling you to go out on a Sunday night knowing that you got a 6 a.m. speed workout with half the team, you probably need to say, no, I can't do it. Catch me next Saturday, right? This is a message to really everybody, more so to the young coaches. Don't waste their time. They'll know if you're wasting their time. Number 2 on that building trust is character. Character. Can't be full of shit. They'll know. Players don't miss a thing. If you treat player X one way for doing something, and some player Z does the same thing, and he gets treated a little bit different, they know that. They start losing respect for you. Can't be a hypocrite. You can't say one thing and do another. Can't say one thing and do another. You can't do one thing and say another. You got to be consistent. Character is built on repeated actions of doing what you say you will do over time. So as you tell your athletes, and you have this relationship with your athletes, over time, you start building, he starts really believing your character and who you are, acting in the best interest of the players of the team. I want those athletes to know from day one, our number one is not only to train you physically, mentally, socially, spiritually, but also to make sure we do it effectively, efficiently, and safely. We got to do that. And I heard this. I know our head coach says he heard it, but I told him. I heard this when my daughter got confirmed in Gainesville, Florida. And it was a bishop that does confirmation up and says, how do you spell love? And I'm back here going, L-U-V, L-O-V-E. He stood up and in front of the congregation, he says, T-I-M-E. That's how you spell love. So when you have your significant other out there, obviously you spend a lot of time with them. With your family members, you spend a lot of time with them. Time equals love. That player's got no time for them. And I know sometimes, I'm not talking about being accountable. I'm just saying they've got to believe that you got time for them. Because kids nowadays got a lot on their minds. A lot on their minds. Character is seen in your behavior. It's felt in your attitude. They can feel it. It's heard in your words. Life skills drive coaching skills. Life skills drive coaching skills. How you live your life as a coach will drive how you coach those players. Does that make sense? How you live your life. How you live your life as a coach will affect how you coach those players. So if you're living right, you're doing things right, you believe in something, you're a good person, you care about really everybody, you're a good citizen, you pay your taxes, they'll know that. If you don't, they'll know that. Coaching skills can rise no higher than your life skills. So if you're having a hard time with a younger coach or a teammate or a coaching mate or a staff member, maybe they're not living their life right. Maybe they're not. You can't not live your life right and be a great coach. Can't. It doesn't happen. Trust me by experience, it cannot happen. The last one of trust is connection. The connection, being authentic, being real. That you can't fake it. You got to be you. So if they believe you're you, they have more of a tendency to believe you. Don't be someone you're not. We talked about don't be their friend, be their coach. I repeat, because this is what I see. Do not be their friend, be their coach. The hardest thing for a young strength coach is 22, 23, 24, 25, 26-ish. They got a lot in common with that 22-year-old left guard. They do. It's hard to draw the line in the sand. It's hard to line. I made a mistake back when I was at GA. I don't know if Al, you were still there or not. I made a mistake. I didn't separate it, and I got caught in a bad situation. Out one night when a brawl broke out. I was in my little corner. There was athletes in another corner. Never seen them, but a brawl broke out. So what do? Do you go help your athletes? So now you're helping your athletes at a place you shouldn't be. Bad things happen. I learned it the hard way. So I'm relaying that message to you, doing it right. Convey what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. We talked about that already. This is one of my favorite words in the Webster dictionary. It's called conflict. Conflict. Mental struggle training. The more one is in that situation, a competitive environment, the easier it is to, not T-I-O, to resolve that conflict. Conflict. Conflict can be whatever you want it to be. But athletes need to be in some sort of conflict. Conflict can be just doing the exercise right. And you're doing it wrong. They have to do it right. That could be conflict. I love conflicted situations. Because athletes need to be in those conflicted situations before they're in those conflicted situations. So they know how to respond. If they're not in those, then they don't know how to respond. Now, the strength profession right now is getting a lot of bad press, bad heat out there for overtraining or pushing them maybe a little bit too far. That's your job to make sure you don't do that. That's your job. That's your job. So if you see a video today on someone's presentation where they're pulling sleds and pushing trucks, just be smart. Just be smart. That's all I'm saying. Be smart. You got to put them in a conflicted without putting them in a dire situation. And as a certified strength and conditioning coach, professional, you should know that. You should know that. Confrontation, feedback, must create it. We talked a little bit about that. And then we have a saying, once again, we're very parallel in our beliefs, but when contact is made, when that situation comes to you, you always revert back to your training. Always. Always. That could mean a lot of things. So if you're trained for that situation, physically, mentally, socially, spiritually, whatever it may be, you'll always go back to that training. You'll never go above that training. Ever. 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 So if you're a football coach, somewhere in your training you have to do a 10-play drive, or you're not going to be prepared for that. You have to. If you're a basketball coach, somewhere you have to press full court, or stop the press, because you're going to have to do that. That's all I mean by that. I believe, with the competitive nature of who we all are, when challenged, we will respond. Players and coaches alike. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. Whoops. Talk real quick about culture. Good. Culture, what we live by, how we act, what we say, what we think, how we do things. That's culture. I know that word's starting to come out a lot more nowadays. Culture, it's how you do things, how you say things. What is your culture in your facility? What is your culture in your program? This is our culture in our strength program at Ohio State. We believe in attitude, effort, accountability, toughness, and performance. That's what we believe. That's our culture. Players know it. Staff knows it. Coaches know it. Media knows it. People that clean the facility know it. The facility director knows it. The person that brings the water on a big forklift knows it. Everybody knows it. That's what we believe in. I don't care how much guys bench. I don't care how fast they run. This is what I care about. This is what we care about. You can't improve without a great attitude. You can't have a little edge to you without a little attitude. I used to put a picture of Granny from Beverly Hillbillies. Remember Granny? She had some attitude. She was kind of a badass. And that little chicken hawk. Badass. Remember him on the cartoons? Older guys? He used to pound people and then drag them out. He had attitude. So you got to have both of those things. Both of those things. Good attitude, but you got to be you know what? Effort. I'm going to talk a little bit more about effort here as I go through this. Effort has nothing to do with genetics. Nothing. Zero. Zero. Has nothing to do with rivals, 4-star, 5-star, 3-star, 24/7. Zero. Nothing. It has nothing to do with what kind of shirt you're wearing. Whether it's Under Armour, whether it's Nike, whether it's whatever it is. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It knows nothing. Zero. It's like safety. Safety never takes a day off. Effort should never take a day off. Non-genetic. It's evaluated in our program every day. That's what we evaluate. Not how much you lift, but how you lift that weight. Not how fast you run, but how you run that. Over and over and over. It's challenged. It's rewarded. We reward effort. We reward guys that give great effort. Because this will take them into their lives. Not just football, it's into their lives. Has no stars. To me, it's the single most important aspect of our program. Strength, football, whatever it is. Any questions so far? Good. Don't have time for questions. We got to roll. Conviction means nothing more than a strong belief in something. You're convicted, convinced that this is the right way. Have conviction, teach conviction, empower our athletes with conviction, with beliefs. You got to have beliefs, right? You got to have beliefs. Football coaches believe in the spread offense. They believe in 4 down on the defensive front. They believe on man-to-man press coverage, whatever it is. Basketball players believe in pressing 40 minutes of hell, whatever it's called, zone pressure. You got to believe in something. Players got to know you believe in something. Before you believe, you must have beliefs. Before you believe, you must have beliefs. Make your beliefs these 5 things clear. Beliefs are clear, contagious, consistent, convincing, and communicate these beliefs with conviction, which kind of all wraps into one thing. It's a great quote, Coach Fickle, you'll love it. Great players believe. Great teams believe. Great coaches are believed. Yeah. Be persistent and passionate. Live by our belief. I repeat, great coaches are believed. We must have beliefs that are believable and believed. Then and only then will you truly be unbelievable. We must have beliefs that are believable and believed. Then and only then will we truly be unbelievable. That's conviction. That's what you have to be. That's what your program. I heard this, the old-time track coach from Oregon back in the day, Dr. Ken, I forget his name. He called him, I love this, I put this up for you guys. He called himself the professor of competitive response. Professor of competitive response. Old-time track guy. Back when those guys were running the mile. Bill Mallerman. Dr. Ken will relay that when he comes up and talk. I put this on here for you guys. I got this from the people that I've worked with, that work with me over the years. My staff, guys that work for me, you have this. I'm just going to throw these out. These are coaching qualities that I look for in our staff. Hopefully you guys have them. Accept the plan, attack and dominate. Once again, I look from people that I've worked with, had the pleasure of working with. You have to have the ability to communicate, the ability to lead rather than rule. The ability to lead rather than rule. Ability to teach, be responsible, competent, accountable. Motivate, cultivate. Must have great character and integrity. I'm kind of wrapping this thing up, back through. The ability to accept criticism. It's the hardest thing. You don't know everything. You're never going to know everything. Take criticism. Where there's smoke, sometimes there's fire. Just kind of live, go through it by then. Must have energy, enthusiasm, must be creative. Got to be flexible. Got to be clear, concise, and direct when you coach. Got to be smart and sensible. You got to stick to the KISS principle. Keep it stupid. Simple. That's the KISS principle. Just keep it simple. Never take anything for granted. And I think that's one thing the staff that work with me, they know. To never take anything for granted. Be professional, hardworking, hungry, consistent. Don't have an ego. Don't have an ego. The one thing I learned back in the day, back when, the strength coaches had huge egos. I don't sense that anymore. I think everybody's kind of come together a little bit. Have huge egos. It's not about you. Never was about you. It's never going to be about you. Dr. Ted told me a long time ago, they're going to win in spite of you. Just be a part of it. Be a part of that pie. Be a part of that wheel. Be a part of that smoke. That's what you can do. It's not about you. It's not about the players that you coach. It's about the big picture. Be a leader. Be their coach, not their friend. Hopefully you guys picked up a few things. I'm right on time.
Right on time.
Lon, I would like to show that video if we could. I'm going to boat out of here. Just leave it there. I'll give it to one of my guys. I'll take a couple questions if everybody has them. If not, my staff's here. Older staffs are here. Don't answer anything about me, about what we do, how we do it. You guys are welcome at any time to come up and visit, unless you coach in the Big Ten. See a couple over there. Sorry, the way we roll. There's a couple back there. If you guys ever leave the Big Ten, feel free to come on down anytime. I appreciate it. I'm honored and humbled. This is awesome to come back to my roots. It's where it started. I was 25 years old when I was the head strength coach here. I knew absolutely nothing. There's people that helped me, because without that, it would never have got to this. But I wish you guys well. Sorry I couldn't be there, but you guys know how family is, and you got to roll. Thank you. Take care.